The High School Sports Beat is brought to you by Alfred State College, where within 6 months of graduating, an astonishing 99% are working or furthering their studies. At Alfred State, they stress project-based learning, where students work on real-world problems and learn how to think, not what to think. Visit alfredstate.edu.
Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. We begin our look at Section 5 sports this week with our opening story, brought to you by Sticky Lips Barbecue and Juke Joint. Sticky Lips Barbecue Juke Joint, New York State's largest barbecue restaurant right here in Rochester. See our menu and live music calendar at StickyLipsBBQ.com. Sticky Lips BBQ, Jefferson Road in Henrietta. We start this week with a flashback as Matt Gamble begins his senior season with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We look back to his senior year at Webster and how he handled being one of the most decorated tennis players in Section 5. From May of 2016, here's Bill Pucko.
He's a tennis prodigy, the likes of which we haven't seen before in these parts. There's never been a Matt Gamble before.
What's it like to be able to do something better than just about everybody else?
I mean, it's kind of cool. I guess I don't think of it that way. I just think of like working really hard and just playing tennis. So that's.
Has it made you a different person though? I mean, that you have this thing that you always fall back on and are great at?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does for sure make me unique, but I just like playing tennis and just like working hard and playing. So that's just how I think of it.
I remember he came in and he was a little tiny guy, but he's grown up physically. He's kind of a daunting athletic specimen now. He really has done a lot of work with strength training. And I guess in terms of, and that's it for physical growth, in terms of his growth on the court, it's funny to watch a kid that used to be a little bit temperamental when he goes through and plays to be now the kid that's really calm, cool, collected, even in the most stressful situations, even when I'm not.
Gamble is a senior wrapping up a career like none other. 4 sectional championships, 5 super sectional titles, back-to-back state crowns. He currently owns a 130-match win streak.
Do those wins do you much good? I mean, are there things that you can grab from all of those that make you a better player?
I mean, if you want to work on stuff for sure, then every match you can just work on doing something a little bit better. So that's, just what I've been trying to do every high school match.
Prodigies, the likes of Gamble, as often as not, abandon high school athletics for a more full-time pursuit of a professional career. Gamble could have, but didn't.
I mean, I love going to school. I have just kind of wanted to be like a normal kid going to school as opposed to just doing the Florida Academy or like Foreign Academy. So I think just being in the school atmosphere, being like kind of a normal kid, I guess, is what I wanted to do.
This team had never made it to the finals, much less 2 in a row for team events before he came along. And he only accounts for 1 out of the 7 points. So anytime that people try to tell you you're only winning because of him, understand he's controlling, less than 20% of the overall score of the match, no matter how convincingly he wins.
But just being here, you say he's made the other guys better.
He is a very natural and quiet leader. He goes through and starts practice every day. He fires up and finds ways to play against all of the kids on the team, and when there's something that needs to be adjusted that I don't see, he's the first one to come over and let me know during a meet that something needs to change or to go through and correct stuff that's not happening that should be happening at practice.
Next year, Gamble will be taking his swings at Notre Dame. As a freshman, he will already own national ranking. He'll probably be remembered here more than he was appreciated. And that's okay with him.
Legacy-wise, we're talking about guys that haven't done this kind of thing before. What's it like to have kind of a unique little corner in history here in Section 5?
It's super, super cool. Obviously in 7th grade, I didn't think that I would be like as a senior and having this opportunity to do this kind of stuff, but Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
What's the thing that's most important to you that you've accomplished with these last 5-6 years?
Probably my junior year states title was my biggest moment for me in high school.
Which would be topped if you can nail down a third, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Matt went 22-13 as a junior last year in singles and qualified for the 2019 ITA Indoor National Championships with doubles partner Grayson Broadhouse. His senior season started last weekend versus Kentucky. Well, coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the Dunkin High School Notebook. We'll have that and more when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, returns.
When Girl Scout ingenuity meets Dunkin' coffee, you get a cup of can-do. Girl Scout cookie-inspired flavors are at Dunkin'. Try Thin Mints and Coconut Caramel today. And get a medium latte or cappuccino for $2 from 2 to 6 p.m. America runs on Dunkin'.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. It's time now for the High School Notebook, brought to you by Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'. And joining us again this week, we are happy to have Matt Trabold.
Thanks for having me.
Matt, we're going to talk a little puck right now. Some guys from Section 5 who are making some big names for themselves.
Absolutely. A couple big names, especially recently with the news. The Hobie Baker Award was the national MVP for college puck. That came out with its 2020 finalists recently. Not one, but two Rochesterians on that list. First off, we should talk about a kid from Providence, a sophomore there. He won a state championship with McQuaid. It's Jack Dugan. He was drafted pretty recently by the Vegas Golden Knights. And this is an absurd stat, especially coming from a pretty good area for hockey with the Giantas coming from here as well. He is number one nationally in both assists and points, even better there. So this kid is looked at really by a lot of national experts as a top two candidate to win the whole thing, not just being a finalist. Dryden McKay, who is the Minnesota State starting goalkeeper, that's the other guy kind of going toe-to-toe with him. So it'll be fun to see what happens there. But going back to the finalist list, David Ferentz, a name I think more people might know because he played more recently here. For Victor was one of those Blue Devils that was such a star as an underclassman before he went to go play juniors. He is 12th nationally in points. He's a Boston University sophomore. He's a Boston University junior, I should say. And then on top of that, number one nationally in power play goals. So this kid is very good as well, also on that Hobie Baker finalist list. And then just kind of continuing the trend, not in the Hobie Baker list, but a couple days before that Hobie Baker news comes out, you have Nate Soucy, a Fairport native. He becomes the Penn State program historic leader in terms of scoring. That's a big deal because they've really been picking it up with Pagula Arena. They have been a top 10 team all season long. He's currently leading that team in goal scoring. Those guys making Rochester proud.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. Talking about making Rochester proud, let's wrap things up with a little talk about the RAP and some of the great games that were in that tournament.
Yeah, that RAP Invitational Showcase, which has been going on for around a half decade now at East High School. It's put on by Phil Valenti from Valenti Sports. It never disappoints. This year was no different. The crowds were huge, especially for the two primetime games of the 5 at the end of the night. You really have to love seeing kind of Rochester kind of come out as a whole. You had players from all different sorts of teams coming out and their parents and all that kind of stuff. But the premier matchup, I would say, between Section 5 foes was a rematch of an overtime thriller that we were talking about on the show a couple weeks ago. Leadership in that one, won in overtime by 2 over UPrep. They played again, stoic point guard for Leadership. Mo McKinney and his Lions, they won for a second time this season against those Griffins. This time in regulation by 1 point, down to the wire yet again. Shamir McCullough, one of his backcourt mates, he had a big 3 late in that one to kind of seal the deal. They had some free throws after that. And then I would say the best game, maybe overall, even though there was involving a Section 6 team, it was the host Eagles taking on Buffalo powerhouse Park School. In that one, you had Kaori Barley in overtime. He's one of the 2 head coaches' sons that start in that backcourt for them. He had 5 points, the leading scorer in that OT period. That was big for them. They got John Oregon, a 6'10", future D1 center for the Pioneers. They got him in foul trouble all game long. They're able to win that game, a statement win for the entire state. And then you throw in Aquinas. Earlier in the night, they continued their rise. They beat, by lopsided fashion, a Northeast Douglas team, which is pretty good, has some good talent back. and Jack Blyer and Jack Scanlon combined for 8 threes in that one. And the younger Scanlon brother, who's really just getting some minutes now, he had his breakout game. Will Scanlon, the freshman, you got to love to see it.
It seems like every week there are great showdowns going on all over the place, and with sectionals coming up, that's always good to see. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, right after this. Coming up next, the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara, and later Jalen Pickett from Aquinas leads Siena versus Canisius. We'll have that when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, returns.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. Hit the ground running at alfredstate.edu. I'm Kyle O'Gara.
Making the grade this week is Spencerport senior Jansen McNair. Jansen plays football, swims, and runs track and field for the Rangers. In addition to playing 3 sports, Jansen is a member of the jazz band, concert band, pep band, chess club, and robotics team. In the classroom, Jansen has a 96% average and is a member of the National Honor Society. Outside of school, Jansen is a lifeguard, cashier, and volunteer within his community. Jansen is described by coaches as a model student athlete and is an outstanding representation of what it means to be a Spencerport Ranger. This week, Jansen McNair is making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. And now here's Dave of the McArdle Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here are some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in this week's Section 5 Spotlight, brought to you by McArdle's in Fairport. Come home to McArdle's. Congratulations to the Rush Henrietta cheer squad who won this year's battle on the mats at Webster Thomas. The Royal Comets now wear the crowns as grand champions. 2 former Spencerport Rangers were honored at the United Soccer Coaches Convention as Maddie Carr and Olivia Wall were named All-Americans. Maddie is currently with MCC while Olivia is at Cornell. And finally, Athena grad Destiny Fernandez had a big day for Bowling Green indoor track, winning the 60-meter hurdles and the high jump championship in a head-to-head contest against Toledo. Well, coming up next, catching up with former Aquinas star Jalen Pickett at Siena College. We'll have that story when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
And now to Eichel. He floated one. Score!
Hello and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. Jalen Pickett of Siena College returned for his sophomore season after flirting with declaring for the NBA draft last year. There's been no sophomore slump for Pickett, who is averaging almost 16 points a game for the Saints. From Canisius, here's Paul Gotham.
It's been nearly 3 years since Jalen Pickett roamed the hardwoods of Section 5. The former Aquinas star has made the transition to Division I college basketball. Now in his second season with the Siena College Saints, Pickett is showing that last season was no fluke. As a first-year player under then-head coach Jamie and Christian, Pickett earned Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Rookie of the Year. He scored 15.8 points per game, and his 6.7 assists per outing ranked 9th in the nation. He became the first player in the conference since NBA veteran Lionel Simmons to earn first-team All-Conference, along with the top rookie honors in his first year.
I'm pretty good in the ball screen reads. Definitely switch positions from more of a off guard to a point guard. Reading the ball screen coverages. I'm still trying to work hard and figure out what to do, and it's just great out there. I'm just trying to play hard.
Under current head coach Carmen Maciarello, Pickett currently leads Siena with 15.7 points per game, 4.4 assists, and 1.5 steals.
You know, that's one of Jalen's best attributes is he's a student of the game, and you know, he's got tremendous IQ, and you know, he's really great reading coverages. And
against Canisius, he was at his best picking apart the defense on ball screens.
I never really have to worry about Jalen in that regard. He's super coming off. He understands the game plans. He knows where his passes are off different ball screen coverages. The next thing is just getting all those little details and making sure guys understand where the ball is, right? The ball has to find its way back to Jalen if he gives it up, and guys don't take that shot, right? If you bring the defense and you drag it and you move it and you throw the right pass and then it gets swung and that guy doesn't have a shot, you can't go one-on-one and settle. It has to find Jalen again, and now we have to rework it, right? So maybe we have to play slower, but Jalen's very good with the ball in his hands, and like I said, student of the game, and just he's a joy to coach.
As a junior at Aquinas, under then head coach Mike Rosadonia, Pickett earned all tournament honors, helping the Little Irish to the 2016 Class AA title. He was named tournament MVP when Aquinas won the program's first state title. He scored his 1,000th point his senior year under current head coach John McCauley.
What type of a player would you have called yourself when you were a high school junior, high school senior? What would you have typified yourself as?
Still a smart player. I came in every game knowing what to do. It was a great scout by Coach G and Coach McCauley. They did a great job there. So when I was at Aquinas, we really knew what we had to do, and it was just me trying to learn as much as I can and then just get better. I've gotten bigger, faster, stronger since high school, so I was just trying to get big there and put on some weight. Yeah, well, actually, once it was junior year, I was kind of at the later in the season becoming the primary ball handler too. So it gave me a little time there. It actually got me ready for being the point guard here. Coach McCauley was a point guard, so he wanted to see what I can do there and see what I can do with the ball in the hands. And he was great just helping me learn the reads early. So, he was a great help there.
He spent a prep school year at Spire Institute in Ohio before committing to Siena. Pickett's mother, Gwendolyn, has been there every step of the way. She has traded commutes in Monroe County and other destinations around New York State for road trips to Connecticut, New York City, and New Jersey. She wouldn't have it any other way.
It's definitely a transition. We look forward to basketball season as well, but I'm at all the games, so once we get going, I know November to March, I'm in the gym right with him. So.
And earlier this season, she followed the Saints to California.
Yeah, to San Luis Obispo in California. Yes.
What was that trip like for you?
It was really nice. First of all, it was sunshiny, so it was cold here, but it was nice. The game didn't go our way, but it was still nice. It's always great to go to different places and see him play.
Watching your son play is second to none.
That's a hard part watching it because it's like no sooner than he gets the ball, they're right on him. But it's part of the game, so and he gets through it. So, but yeah, lots of attention on him now. But it's good to see how it plays out, see him work through it, and he's smart. He's got that high IQ, so he knows what to do. He knows where to get that ball, get it in the basket.
It was great seeing my family and friends again. My mom always comes to all the games. My mom and my Nana, they come to all the games. And my brother and my uncle get to most of them too. But to see all my friends, my uncles, my cousins, for them all to come to the game, it really shows the support I have.
From Canisius College, this is Paul Gotham with the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, especially Alfred State College, for making the Sports Beat possible. We'd also like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.